once my mama knew, everybody else. Like, is she okay with it? And I get to live in her house and it's not a thing?
Yeah.
The rest of the world can kiss my ass
Yeah.
as far as being like closeted and everything like that. And so that kind of opened the floodgate. And I do think that was definitely her response was a very pivotal point in who I am right now and how I navigate this space as a gay Black man.
Been through it all, but we up. We done been through it all, but we here, man.
So I left home. I left home and I was gone for a while. Gone. I went to, for as much as I can, you know, when you in like 5th, 6th grade, 7th grade, you can have a girlfriend. She was my girlfriend, but wasn't my girlfriend because she knew I was gay and all of that kind of stuff. Well, we had dated, like when I say dated, as much as you can in 5th grade, have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
So I went to her house. And I stayed at her house. It seemed like forever. But when you're like 14, you know, time and all of that. And so my mom...
Wait, so her parents was cool with you? Like, when you say stay there, you mean a couple of hours?
No, I stayed there. It was like, for me, it seemed like a week or 2 weeks. It was multiple. It was multiple days.
Her parents was cool with that? Okay.
Okay. So we're talking like early 90s, late 80s, early 90s.
That's different. Okay.
Yeah. And so her mom actually happened to see my mom at the store. And I'm going to tell you, for those of y'all who know West Tampa, I don't know what the name of the store is, but it is on the corner of Main and I believe that's Rome.
Okay.
Anybody from West Tampa know exactly where I'm talking about, right across from Dunbar Elementary. I don't know what the name of the store is. So she happened to see my mom at the store.
Okay.
And my mom happened to say, "Hey, Darrell's not at home. Have you seen him?" And she's like, "Yeah, he's at my house. But I think he needs to tell you that he's gay or left home because it had nothing to do with me being gay. It had to do with that Negro putting me out the window and my ego being bruised." Yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, you're going to hurt me. Let me hurt everybody. I'm just going to remove myself from the equation. Yeah. And then y'all will see how y'all life, just, you know, at 14, what you thinking.
Yeah.
So, so she runs into my mom, tells her, and so they lived in the projects. I forget what the name of what street they lived on, but they lived on Green Street. So my mom, I'm there in the living room, and you know, my mom comes in. We laughing and playing, and I hear my mom's voice, whole government name, first, middle, last.
Yeah.
And time must have stopped.
So when she did your mom, had you had this conversation?
I had not had the conversation.
So she outed you to
She outed me to my mother.
Okay.
Yeah, so she outed me to my mother. And again, like I said, I think by this time my mom knew,
but it wasn't a conversation.
It wasn't a conversation. I think she was still kind of hoping and praying that it was going to be a different outcome.
Yeah.
So she comes and I just can remember laying there and laughing, and I hear my mom calling my name and saying, "Let's go." Like the weight of the world was on me and my heart was beating, and that's all I could hear. It's like in the movies. It was definitely like in the movies when everything goes silent and still, and all you can hear is that thud of the heartbeat.
Yeah.
Must have been, it seemed like forever.
Yeah.
So I slowly gathered my things and we were walking back home. And so she's like, "Is there something you want to tell me?" I'm like, "Tell you what? Tell you what?" "Well, he shouldn't have put me through that window. I ain't like that. And I felt like you was going to pick him over me." And so she was like, "No, that's not what I'm talking about." "Well, what are you talking about, Mama?" "I don't know. What you talking about?"
Yeah.
She was like, "Do you like men?" And at this point,
wow,
I can remember saying, "Okay, you have a choice. Either you can tell her or you can have this lie and just let that be the thing."
Yeah.
So it was a good thing. Like, so now now as an adult, I felt like she did do the right thing as an adult with a kid in the house and all of that. But I also feel like that wasn't her place because that's what my mom was upset about. That was, I don't need to find out what's going on in my house in the streets. That's the generation that my mama come from.
Yeah.
It ain't had nothing to do with the gay thing. She was more upset about
you didn't tell her
that I didn't tell her.
Yeah.
And so because she was very big on her kids being able to come and talk to her
about
anything.
Yeah.
About when I say anything, I mean anything.
Okay.
And so that was the thing that hurt her. And so we talked about it, and it wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't a thing. Like, so to the point, she referenced, like, why did you think that would be a thing? Like, I have a cousin that's gay who had lived with us and had, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and she started naming people like, it's not a thing. Like, why did you think that this would be a thing? And I told her, I said, well, Mom, you said you wanted me to be a boy, your first child, and all of that. And that's when she said, well, the reason I would say that is because I wanted to give my mom her son back.
So now that everything
so that's what I'm saying. It came full circle.
Okay.
And so that was the summer leading into my 9th grade year.
Okay.
And so I will say this, is that once my mama knew, everybody else, like, is she okay with it? And I get to live in her house and it's not a thing?
Yeah.
The rest of the world can kiss my ass as far as being like closeted and everything like that. And so that kind of opened the floodgate. And I do think that was definitely her response. Was a very pivotal point in who I am right now and how I navigate this space as a gay Black man, because I had the freedom. I ain't have to hide.
Yeah.
One of my first boyfriends lived with us for 2 years.
Was this high school?
I was in high school. He was older though.
Okay.
He was 25. I might have been 16. So, and it wasn't like I said, hey mama, my boyfriend from her car. It wasn't like that.
Some stuff was going on.
No, he just came, his car broke down, and he never went home.
I'm trying to have a serious conversation.
I'm telling you, no, it is serious, man. That's what happened.
I'm trying to see if I could have pulled some stuff, man.
That's literally what happened.
Oh boy.
And so once she found out, I'm going into my 9th grade year, because I actually had skipped 8th grade.
Okay.
They had a summer bridge for kids who were like over age, because she held me back in the 1st grade, which I don't understand why, but she did. So to like catch me up, I skipped 8th grade.
Okay.
Went that summer, did some stuff. And I was like, okay, yeah, you can go to the 9th grade.
Now, did you ever date any guys?
My age?
No, in high school. From your high school.
Define date.
Never mind. never mind, D. I'm trying to have a constructive conversation. I ain't trying to out nobody. This ain't what we're doing.
No, that's not what we're doing. No. So to answer your question, no, because for most of like my 10 through 12 grade year, I had my boyfriend was living with us. Was living with us. So like by the time I was in the 11th grade, which would have been my 2nd year actually at the high school, he was living with us.
Been through it all, but we up. We done been through it all, but we here, man. Been through it all, but we up. We done been